Yeah. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Samin. It is Saturday night. It's late. I snuck this one in. I don't know where the time went. Here I go. I got to do my fiddling with the mic thing. It's not right if I'm not fiddling with the mic. But anyway, what's going on, everybody? I am Samin. I am the host of the Sam My Is show. I want to thank you for hanging out with me just a little bit today. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm just going to take just a little bit. You know what I watched tonight? It was you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. People ask that question. Do you know what? No, of course I don't know. I have no idea what you do. It's your own time. I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, written by August Wilson. Now, August Wilson is you got to know. You know August Wilson. He is he's passed on without a doubt. One of the most extraordinary playwrights ever. Um, it's just very his work is just important. He did these deca plays, 10 plays about in every decade from the 1900s till the last one. I think the last one was Radio Golf, and he died having created the last one. His plan was to do every decade of black experience, and it was just it's Fences is without a doubt my favorite piece of written artwork ever, followed by A Doll's House, and then Death of a Salesman, which is just, but you would know Death of a Salesman and you would probably know A Doll's House. But not too many people know August Wilson's work, and that can be true or not true. I've come across people who had no idea who I was talking about and didn't know anything about August Wilson until Denzel Washington made the film and was about creating the film of Fences, which is it's a Pulitzer Prize winning play. I think he also won. I don't know why. I don't know what he won the other one for. Maybe it was Piano Lesson. I'm not sure. I'm not a historian on August Wilson, but I love August Wilson's work. I love that there's a group of people who are pushing it to be something that is known and watched. Is really powerful, and I appreciate that. So I watched that tonight, and then it was this other thing on, and then next thing I know, it's like, oh my God, you got to do your stuff. So back to the movie. There was something in the movie that his way of writing language is extraordinary, and he there's this part in the film where somebody, kills somebody for stepping on their shoes. And this is written years ago, and it's from years ago. This is I think I want to say I think this might have been the 1920s or something like that. But still, that conversation, that dialogue of the conversation of people dying, a black person killing another black person because they haven't had them step on their shoes, capturing that scenario and that narrative, which is something. I mean, I haven't experienced that, but we know of it. I don't know if we know of it as much right now, but it's you want to get a black man upset, you step on his shoes and see what you get. It's like that sometimes. And I get it. I don't get it, but I get it. I understand. I've seen it. I know of it. Yeah, and I don't want anybody stepping on my shoes. So there's that. But this is what came up for me today. And then I have something else that happened connected to the same type of thing. So I take my daughter to the doctor today. Right, she has to get signed out. Excuse me. She needs her document from the concussion that now she can go back to school and participate in sports, and she doesn't have to have anything special. She doesn't have to have anything special, no special considerations or anything like that, which is good. Actually, the nurse called me about it the other day, and she was like, "Oh, I need the clearance," so I had to go back today for the clearance. So the way this works now, right? Because we're dealing with COVID, I have to call when I'm downstairs because they don't like having patients together. So they usually have you in and out, no more than 2 patients in at one time. And it's very time targeted. You have to be on time. You have to call 10 minutes in advance. Can I come up? And the whole nine. So I call, nobody's answering. They're not open yet, but I'm there. I'm early. So I call again. They have an answering machine and blah, blah, blah. So then I'm like, what's going on? I wonder if I had the time wrong. So I call back again. Someone answered the phone. I'm like, oh, I'm just calling Mr. Priester, for Cyan, la, la, la. I'm like, okay, yeah. Come on up, Mr. Priester. So, good. Throw our mask on. We going upstairs. I get upstairs, and this is in Princeton. That's where I live, and they're it's all white nurses, right? Doctors, everybody, so it's what it is. But today there's a Spanish woman in there. Okay, hey. Walk in and she says to me, okay, Mr. Priester, nurse such and such is going to see you. But next time you come here, make sure you call before you come up. So Cyan is right next to me. Cyan knows I've called. So Cyan looks like she looks at me. I look over at her a little bit. So I look at the woman. Then I look at somebody answered the phone. Apparently it wasn't her. And the woman next to her was like, no. He called. I told him to come up. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. And in that space, right, what came up for me was, for real? Is it me? Do you say that to anybody that comes up who doesn't call? I can't imagine anybody coming, but I got it. That's just how you are? Are you just the person who checks people? Did you used to do security? First of all, you're brand new. Or, right, is it that you could talk to me any way you want to? Would you say that same thing with the same conviction to another man who might not be my complexion? Now, I don't know the answer to any of this, right? But I checked this because this is weird. This is weird that happens. First, you're brand new. Like, literally, she's brand new. Even a woman would talk. She was like, well, she's new, blah, blah, blah. Because I just looked like, but is it okay, right, for you to speak to me? Are we together? Are we like, okay, I know I can speak to you anyway? Or is it just like, I don't have to have regard for you? I don't know. And of course, even as I'm leaving, I'm like, oh, I got to talk about this. Which is why I just allow certain things to happen, because I'm going to write about it. It's going to be in a book. I'm going to talk about it right here. It's going to be on a podcast. Nothing goes unacknowledged and unanalyzed and unspoken about, right? So, but it brings to the table the question of like, really, that's what we doing? You don't even know me. You don't know. So I have it that she took liberties. I had it that she took liberties to speak to me. It was easy. It was something that she could say something to. I don't know if she was trying to get her wings. I'll protect. I'll take care of this office. Or maybe it was nothing. But how I have life, it's very seldom that it's nothing, right? It's very seldom that it's nothing. And that's the luxury that some people have, that they don't even have to analyze that. But I do, because I experience things that are like, that's weird. Because the odd person out is her. Like, I've been dealing with this place with Cyan's for 5 years. Never. I think we had once a nurse that I thought honestly was like Breaking Bad. Like, I thought she was a little sketchy, meth. I know what addicts look like, and she looked a little addict-y. And but that was nothing. Once I didn't want her to deal with Cyan, I was like, is there another nurse that could deal with this because she just was twitching and she just looked nose running. She looked a little, she had all of the elements of somebody that was just a little sketchy. And eventually she wasn't there anymore. But other than that, nothing with race, nothing with any inconsiderateness. Has all been perfect, really. Like a little utopian doctor's visits, right? Except today. So that's something that came up for me. And that made me think about something else that happened in my life recently. So before COVID hit, like, I don't know who has money in the stocks and bonds or anywhere, but I had a group of people that I have been rocking with for some time. I'm not that person. I don't know a lot about the investments, and I know a little bit. I know a little bit to say, well, that doesn't work. That doesn't make sense. And I understand where my money is and what's happening. I don't understand how sometimes it's impacted by what's going on, like the instability of the country. Sometimes that gets a little bit strange to me. Like, what makes that unstable? Why is this so high right now, and why is it so low? Like I've shared before, 4 months into COVID, I had seen my money go down as well. It was like, oh, I might as well just forget it. Just let it ride, right? And of course, the answer is to let it ride. But I was dealing with some people, and I knew I wanted to change. I knew I wanted to change to a different group. And this is why. I asked a question. Always willing to answer. It's two dudes. It's a whole little group. Answer my questions. They answer them. Show me a bunch of numbers, a bunch of papers and stuff. All legit. One day I say, well, so I need to know, check these numbers. What's happening with this? And ask my usual questions. He gives me an answer and says to me, but don't worry, buddy. You're a millionaire. Well, okay. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, what? Would you say that to somebody else? Or is that an answer that you have for, damn, what am I, a rapper? You gonna give me a bottle of Cristal and a gold chain? What are you talking about? But don't worry. And I look and I listen. I just sat there, right? And I knew at that moment, there's all kinds of things to say, all kinds of ways to handle that, all kinds of conversations to have, all kinds of retorts. Nah. You ever go out on a date with somebody, or you ever with a friend who acts up just a little bit, and you realize right there, the dates, it's really more like a date, because the friends you hang out with a lot, the date is like, I will never see you again. You and I will never be in the same space ever again. Oh, we're going to enjoy the rest of the night. It'll go where it goes. But because you did that thing, you and I will never connect again. And I'm not going to cut it short right now. I'm not going to make it a thing. I'm not going to create this conversation where you can make it about me. But I know I will never see you again. Or maybe it's just me. I've been analyzed that I have a detachment thing, which, it works. It works at times. But I knew, don't worry, buddy, you're a millionaire. Oh, well, okay. Thanks. That's not the answer. That I met you as a millionaire. You know what I mean? It's like in that world, like, oh, okay, I guess. What do you say to that? Nothing. Or what did I say? Nothing. I said nothing to that. I knew I needed to be with some different people that wouldn't give me an answer like that. That was a little placating, patronizing. At least that's how I took it. And then, of course, there comes up that I have my issues, and I have my way of understanding things, and I have a way of looking at life, and I have a way that may not always be correct, and it's not favorable for the other person. And I have a listening that's impacted by my baggage. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that rocks. I don't know. And again, I've had people say certain things around stuff like that. Like, I have family who has said things like, well, don't worry about this. You're going to get the big payday. Like the stuff I shared about, the in-laws. Like, oh, don't worry about this. What I'm doing right now is terrible to you. Terrible. But don't you worry, because you're going to get the big payout. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you say to that? Nothing. Nothing. What do I say? I say nothing. I go, because I like to let humans be humans, because I already know that it's already written and where I'm going and my direction. I can't let a person over there with that impact me, but I get to hear it and I get to listen to it. Then I get to share about it and write about it and have experience. I don't get to cut it short. I go home. I shouldn't worry about what this thing that you said was gonna happen. It's not happening right now. I should, because of that thing. Okay. Then I won't. I guess. You insane person. You know what I'm saying? So, but I get to. Life is so interesting when you let people be who they are without me trying. Life for me has been very interesting without me trying to control every element of how I want it to go and how I think it should go. Nope. It's gonna go the way the river flows. You know, the way the river flows, because a lot of things could have happened differently in most situations, and I could have put my best interest. I could just let it go and move on, and let that be something that I get to share about right now with you. You know, but this thing today with the doctor just was like, wow. Would you say that to somebody else? And a lot of that is, would you say that to somebody else who doesn't look like me? Or is it just me? Do I look like, you know, you could say whatever. I could say whatever I want to him. For real, I don't know that I have that look. I don't know if I have that look. But apparently that's what's happening. So I'm just in that space right now of analyzing and checking myself. It's like, is there something happening with you, sir? And it's just like, no, this people, it's maybe it was just a slip up. Or maybe that was legit. I don't know. And because I don't have at times the ability, like right there, to decipher, because remember, first thought, coffee mug, right? That's not the right answer. So I do actually sit and analyze life in a certain way at a certain speed that works for me, and I digest it slowly and I go, that doesn't really work. You know, that doesn't work for me. I tap out, you know, and I'm good for tapping out. I will tap out on it. Like, I'm pretty good. Today I didn't tap. I tapped out because I didn't react. I didn't say, who you talking to? Which is right there. Like, what? I did call. All of that's there. Or say nothing, right? I don't even have to even talk to you. Then that becomes something. I don't even have to talk to you. Even though we the only brown ones, the three of us, Cyan, myself, and her, we the only brown things in there, but we don't even have to talk to you. Then it creates that thing, right? Which is corny. But anyway, that's what popped up for me today. That was my little bit of excitement this morning, which was just like, for real. And then I started to think about all these other things, and I said, well, this has happened to you before. Maybe it's you, sir. Maybe it's something about you. It's not about me. It's them. It's never me. It's never me. I'm always the right one. No, but it's an energy. And as I stay quiet long enough, I get to hear people say the strangest things. You know, like when I lived in the city, you could hear people talking like in the street. The conversations were unbelievably rich and hilarious and touching and horrifying. Like if you just stand at the cross light waiting to cross, you might hear somebody just say something, oh my God, right? Just like, oh my, but you don't get to hear that out here as much because it's a lot of in your car driving. It's a lot of driving here. It's not intense walking. And especially now, nobody's talking, everybody have the mask on. And if I think about one of the best things I've ever heard, you got to see this. It was on, I lived on 12th. It was on 13th Street, 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue. You know where Keels is, right? Keels is on one side. Then there's a bar. I don't know the name of the bar, but it might not, none of this might exist there at all. But if you've been over there, you know Keels is right there. And it was two men. And one said to the other one, he says, and I'm standing there with Denise. And I'm a rap. He says, well, you know what? I'm tired of your overall. What do you say? I'm tired of your overall. I forgot. I'm tired of your overall superior. I'm tired of your overall superior attitude towards me. You can't write that. I'm tired of your overall. I looked down. It was a short, heavy-set man saying this to this tall. I don't know if they were partners. I don't know what it was. I'm tired of your overall superior attitude towards me. That is like, you could write a little short play about just what happened before that, what happens after that, how they know each other. So that was one of the things that's one thing I do miss from New York City, because you could hear, and I'm sure that happens everywhere, but it does, I have yet to receive anything publicly out here in 5 years. Maybe I'm not listening enough. I don't know. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me on this late Saturday night. Love your daughters. Take good care of yourself. Do something nice. Christmas is coming. It's almost here. I had somebody kind of check me on gifts, right? On gifts. Question me about what am I getting Cyan, and it was a little jab about overspending for Cyan, and like how that leads to her being like, what that looks like for her future if she gets gifts. Like, I bought her a camera for her birthday, a nice Canon D50 or M50. I think it's a D50. Right, nice camera, really nice. And then we bought her an iPad Pro so Christmas last year was the camera, birthday was the iPad Pro, and this conversation comes up about, well, if you give her too much stuff, she won't know about struggle, and I'm listening to that. If she won't know that, how hard she has to work to get certain things like that, and you won't always be there to give her this type of stuff, and it's very true, right? There's a lot of truth in that, but I struggled my whole life. I came from struggle my whole life. I don't know if that gave me anything but struggle. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, struggle begets struggle, right? And there's something about it, and then it's a little bit of mind your business, and then it's a little bit like, I need to be checked because I will do things. Anyway, what I got her this year was a Nintendo Switch portable, so she could have it in the car and stop leaving the other one in the car. So that's 2. The first one was mine though. So now she has a light one, a Nintendo Lite. And I bought the Mario car, stuff like that. Little light stuff. But the idea that struggle creates character, I believe that's true. I believe it's true. And and then I don't believe it, right? Because I struggled. And I have a struggle character. I struggled. I know a bunch of people who struggle, and they still struggling, and they will struggle to the day they die, and they'll be struggling to death. So, and there's something also about creating an abundance for someone and having some things that you could do. It's just, and I don't know, right? Because I don't have a person that's like, yo, come here. I don't have a big homie that's like, yo, come here, let me talk to you. Which is a missing, like a real, but not like a broke big homie, like what's a broke big homie? No, I'm saying? Because I get a lot of like, yo, you shouldn't do this. Tell me what I should do. Don't tell me that. I don't. Like a well-off big homie that can be like, yo, this is how I do it. Maybe there's something here for you. That would be fantastic to have like yo, come on, let me rap with you about the things that you're doing that are harmful. And I get that some things are harmful, because if you don't teach them how to work, they become privileged and pompous, possibly. But I don't know too many black people like that. I don't know too many black people that are in a situation to even be that, right? I don't know that. I know a lot of struggle. I personally struggle. I still struggle. I could have everything fine in my life, and I will find a way to struggle. That's just in my DNA. I'll catastrophize something. It's because I know struggle, and I come from it. I have to work at gratitude and appreciation for life, and the work that I have to do every day to get down to like human. That's work for me. So I don't know. I mean, that just came up a little while ago. I received a little. It was like, oh, what'd you get? I think they were like, what'd you get at the world or some kind of globe, golden globe from Scarface. Like the world is yours. Would you? And I was like, no, I didn't do that. Stop hating. It's a little bit of hate though. It's a little. So you always got to watch out for the little bit of seed. How does that taste? It tastes pretty good. How does it taste now with a little bit of hate sprinkled on it? It's like, still tastes good to me. You know. Anyway, love your daughters. I love mine. That's the one. I got one. And I'm still at. I get the don't spoil you. Don't do too much. I have her work. She knows money. She's good at saving. She spends money. She's like spending money on gifts for the people. Her own money that she's worked for. She asks for very little. So you know what I'm saying? Not right. Even right now, I'm like selling the deal. I'm like selling. Like, isn't that good? Isn't what I'm doing? I'm not gonna do that unless you're a big homie that want to grab me up and be like, "Yo, Sa, let me put you onto some things." I'm all ears. I really am. I'm all ears. Or anyway. But anyway, take great care of yourself. Do something fantastic. New Year's coming. Get your resolutions together. Lose that 20 pounds. Get that tooth fixed. Please get the tooth fixed. I don't know anybody who needs their tooth fixed. I'm getting off. Take. Oh God, I'm high on life right now. Anyways, take great care. Thank you for hanging out with me. Peace, people. Peace.